Are you a breeder looking to showcase your show pigs? With a Walton Webcasting Show Pig Shoot, we are your go-to video service for capturing the full picture of your show pigs. We specialize in providing top-quality video services for breeders like you. Our skilled video team comes directly to your operation. You talk to pigs, we capture the video. Whether it's baby pigs, boars, gilts, or sows, we ensure that their unique features will shine through. With the power of our website and social media, your professionally recorded videos are streamed live, allowing potential customers from all over the country to view and appreciate the quality of your show pigs. We handle the technicalities so you can focus on what you do best, raising exceptional livestock. To schedule your next show pig shoot, call Rhonda at 765-431-7367.
Well, congratulations, your champion heifer calf exhibited by Cattleman with KTCC, Clarissa, and reserve champion. And congratulations, Callie Ellis with Ellis Simone. We'll now welcome in your next class. We'll start on the next division. This will be Class 7. Over here at the Racer Trick, we are going to be followed by Ellis Racer.
Welcome to the ultimate show on the track. Today we celebrate our premier partners, the driving force behind the livestock industry across the nation. Get ready to witness the power of partnership as our premier partners take to the asphalt. Green light and they're off. On the track we have our first partner, Laird Premium Blend Genetics from premiumblendgenetics.com. Next up, it's Beck's Hybrids from BecksHybrids.com. And here comes Showright from Showright.com. Coming around, we have Brad Howe Ford from BHIFord.com. Right behind them, it's Biozyme from BiozymeInc.com. And here comes First Farmers Bank and Trust from FFBT.com. And rounding out the racers, it's Kennedy Ventures from KennedyVenturesOK.com. On the track and in the ring, it's all about collaboration and teamwork. Join us in honoring our premier partners because together, they're the driving force of the livestock industry.
We are ready to get started with your Junior Braford show. We're going to welcome in your first class. This is Class 9 Senior Heifer Calves, born August to September of 2023. This will also be your first division here in our junior show. I'd like to welcome to the ring your judge this afternoon, Mr. Nick Fitzsimmons.
Well, good class here to start us off in our Braford show. And as much as anything, just appreciate the opportunity to come out here and sort through this breed and these cattle. I know with a lot of utility. And we got a good pair here. Some good differences back and forth. I think they're pretty contrasting in terms of their type and kind. The effort that I use at the front here, in my opinion, just a bit more ladylike in her general design. The smoothness to her shoulder, the softness to her center body, just a bit more flexibility and true comfort built into her lower skeleton. One that surprises you just a bit when you get right in behind her. For as smooth built as she is, she still has some added dimension and true power when you get right in behind her. One, as you study her there at the surface, I'd like to square her up in terms of her toe and see just a bit more true feature in terms of her lower skeleton. But again, flexible, good bodied, good looking. I think that female is a great representative of this particular class. Got a pretty stout featured one that stands here in second. I appreciate this one's added moderation, just her easy keeping look as you study her through her center body. Again, big footed, just stout boned in terms of her overall makeup. You get right in behind her, and for as stout as she is in her overall feature, I'd like to see her a bit more opened up in her pin set. I'd like to see a bit more base width, and I think along with that then would come a bit more true body shape. But a female, again, I like for her moderation, her easy keeping look, and her added foot size. Good class there to kick us off here in our Brafords. Congratulations to both those young ladies. Back over here in your Braford show, a young lady brings a heifer here that I think resembles her Class 1 champion just in terms of her sleek look and her added femininity, shoulders forward, her flexibility there at the surface, one that's just awfully trim in terms of her lines here from the side profile and has some added just natural dimension when you get right in behind this heifer. As I step back off her, again, I'd like to stouten her up in terms of her ankle just a touch. I'd like to see this one just a touch softer in her mid-body and back into her rear rib and flank to make all that balance up just a bit more appropriately, but I like her femininity, I like her flexibility, I like her added stoutness when you get right in behind her. Congratulations to this young lady on another class champion.
Well, congratulations over here in the Junior Braford Show. Your champion fall heifer calf exhibited by Megan Williams, reserve champion exhibited by Haley Sheffield. We then brought in Class 12, first place exhibited by Megan Williams with CB 9389, Cloudy 701. Back over to the Beefmaster ring, results out of Class 7. First place exhibited by Vicente Garza with WR Foxy's Golden Girl. Second place was exhibited by Blue Ribbon Beefmasters. Third place, Weston Brooks. Fourth place, Vicente Garza. Fifth place, and congratulations to Princeton Jordan. And sixth place was exhibited by Elijah Randall. Now in the ring is Class 8.
Another single entry here and a moderate female that I think represents a very useful, mature cow size, one that has some added just body shape, and then again, pretty easy fleshing in terms of her overall appearance here from the side profile. If I could change this one, I'd like to pick her up and see her a bit square from hooks to pins. I'd like to stouten her up and see her just a shot more comfortable in her movement there at the surface, where she wants to be just a shot more restricted off of both ends, but certainly a female that I like for just her low input kind as you study her out here today. Congratulations to her.
Well, congratulations in Class 14. First place went to Haley Sheffield with CK Angel 2032-23. We're now going to bring those two single entries in. We'll select a champion reserve yearling female.
We get back out here for division selection and a pair of females that are fairly contrasting in their types and kinds. Heifer here at the front of the lineup, a bit later maturing, one that's just a bit longer and neater in terms of her look from her shoulders forward, has a bit more length and extension from her hook bones back. I like this one's flexibility and the way she goes there off of both ends. As I said there earlier in class, plenty of dimension from behind this particular heifer. As I step back off her, I'd like to soften her up in her mid-body just a touch to make it all come together a bit more appropriately there from the side profile. But the basics on that female are certainly in check. The heifer that comes here out of Class 2, I like this one's moderation. I like her body shape. I like just her easy keeping kind that she represents here in this particular division. Again, one that I think as you project her on, her mature cow size is certainly on point for a lot of different types of, different operations as you study her there throughout the world. One, as I study her to the ground, I'd like to see her just a bit more flexible in terms of her overall joint work. One I'd like to see square from hooks to pins, and I think have just a bit more look and eye appeal from her shoulders put forward. So certainly different types and kinds out here. To me, it's a pretty straightforward decision. I'm going to use this heifer here out of Class 1 to be your champion, follow right up with Class 2. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations. Your champion yearling female, exhibited by Megan Williams, reserve champion, went to Haley Sheffield. Now in the ring is your final class of junior females.
Well, certainly a nice effort to represent this particular class, one that's good in terms of just her foot size and shape, her added reach and flexibility there off of both ends. As you study this one from behind, got plenty of true shape and dimension right there in her center stifle and roundness in terms of her body. As I said there on a female earlier, I'd like to soften her up in terms of her center body and how she's built back into her flank, especially when you take into consideration she's got just a bit more condition on her there up through her chest floor. But certainly females, you step back off of her, long and extended, very collected in terms of her top line. I like this one in terms of her lower skeleton. A nice place to start here in this class. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations over here in the Braford ring. Results out of Class 19. First place exhibited by Haley Sheffield with DD 1849, Willow 213.
Well, not just a ton of numbers here in our junior show, but certainly a great deal of quality. And I know regardless of how many are in the ring, there takes a lot of just time and effort, determination, work as a team to get a head of livestock out into the middle of the ring. And so certainly my hat's off to each and every one of these young ladies as they get their heifers back out here. And a very good here in our junior show. The heifer that comes out of division number 1, I like this one in terms of just her flexibility and her reach, her softness in terms of her center body, just that maternal silhouette that she offers here from the side profile. I like that one's neatness of her look there up to her front 1/3, and to still have enough true dimension when you get riding behind her. A female puts together a lot of neat attributes here in this particular lineup. I like to stouten her up in her foot size just a touch if you could change that one, but a lot of good in that particular female there in the front of the lineup. The heifer that comes out of Class 2, I think resembles her in terms of just her neatness of look from her shoulders forward, still very fresh in terms of her composition, has the right kind of reach and athleticism there off of both ends, very collected in terms of her top line, specifically from hooks to pins. As I step back off of her, I'd like to soften her up in terms of her center body, the way she feeds back into her flank, but again, I think one that's fresh. She's honest in terms of her composition. I like her flexibility. I think she certainly adds to this particular lineup. One that's marked a bit more like a Hereford here that comes out of our last division, big and square in terms of her toe. I think that one's got as much true foot size and just feature as any of them here as we get our division champions back out in the middle of the ring. I like this one's roundness in terms of her center body, and again, very collected in terms of her top line. I'd either like to freshen her up in terms of her composition or see her a bit softer in terms of her center body, then square her up in terms of where her feet hit the surface there up front. She wants to toe out just ever so slightly. But again, 3 great representatives here of this particular breed. I'm going to go get you a champion reserve. If you give these exhibitors here a big round of applause. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations over here in the Junior Braford ring. Your grand champion exhibited by Megan Williams with CB Miss Maggie 801. And reserve champion exhibited also by Megan Williams with CB 9389 Cloudy 701. We have 2 junior bulls. They are both single entries. We're going to bring them both in and select a grand and reserve grand champion, Junior Braford bull. After our bull show, we'll go right into your F1 females. Well, congratulations. Back over here in the Briefmaster ring. First place in Class 8, exhibited by Ellie Walters with W.R. Marin's Ring ET. Second place went to Weston Brooks. Third place exhibited by Maddox McCollum. Fourth place went to Silas Moon. Fifth place exhibited by Santiago Garza. Sixth place will go to Lane Seal. Seventh was exhibited by Avery Pearson. And eighth place to Silas Moon. Now in the ring is Class 9.
Pair of class winners come back out here for our bowl selection here, and I think certainly could have withstood a great deal of competition. The solid Red Bull that comes out of this first class, one that I really like in terms of just his design from the side profile, very square in terms of his foot size and shape and comfort at the surface, one that's right in terms of his softness through his center body. I think he'll go on and produce a very easy keeping set of daughters whenever put back into production. As I step back off of him, collected in his lines down his top line, and then again, proportions neat here from the side profile. So you study him from a 3/4 shot or step right in behind him, one that I'd like to open up in terms of his full rib shape and see just a bit more dimension right there out of the backside of his shoulder. He's not near as just wide in terms of his base width underneath it, and I think that's an area where you'd like to change him, but a lot of good in that particular individual that comes out of our calf division. And we got the Baldy Bull, the Skurd Bull that comes here out of Class 2, and one that certainly has some neat pieces to use and project on into his offspring. High time, neat-looking shoulders forward, collected in terms of his lines. I think one that's fresh and has the right kind of shape down the top side of his skeleton. You step back off of him and certainly reads right in terms of his body shape, especially when you take into consideration where he's at in terms of his composition, comfortable off of both ends, and attractive in terms of his lower skeleton. I think as much as anything, that's what I'm drawn to. Step back in behind him, and he's still got just a bit more true base width underneath. A bull that I'd like to see just a bit different in terms of its rear toe. He's a little uneven in terms of the way he's growing there and wants to roll the outside of his hoof wall just ever so slightly. I think, again, it's predominantly from a management standpoint, but something I think you'll need to keep in check. He's the one that I think has the most neat pieces to continue to use and put back into your operation. So I'm going to use him for champion here today. We're going to follow right up with our calf here out of Class 1. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations over here in the Braford ring. Your champion bull here in our junior show, exhibited by Megan Williams. That's CB Mr. Simba 901. Reserve champion, exhibited by Haley Sheffield with CK Miko 6324. We'll now go right into your F1 show. We do have 3 single entries in this show. Well, congratulations. Back over in the Open Beef Master show. First place in Class 9 was exhibited by Cal Tassin. Second place went to Kaylee Beeson. And third place, Vicente Garza. Now in the ring is Class 10.
We have a pair of class winners that come back out in the middle here for our selection of our F1 female, and I think both these heifers are very nice. The heifer that comes out of our first class, one that as you draw one up from the ground up, I think that one certainly checks a lot of boxes. They're foot sized and shaped, her comfort and attractiveness in terms of her lower skeleton. I really like this one's body shape, especially when you take into consideration just her composition, her freshness here in this particular setting is something that I think you can get pretty fired up about. You step back off her and she still gives you a killer look, shoulders forward, has a ton of true shape and dimension working down the top side of her skeleton. A female, again, I think just puts a lot of very neat pieces together. She's got a little added frame. I think maybe you'd like to see her just a bit softer back into her rear rib and flank if you want to get critical of that one. But to me, she does a lot of things right, and I appreciate it, Cal. It's got a little added size. I think it opens you up to a few more options. The heifer that comes out of this second class is one that I think certainly if you're trying to find one that's a bit more moderate, a bit easier keeping in her type and kind, this is one you can certainly get drawn into. She's still plenty sound off of both ends, got enough natural thickness when you get right in behind her. When you step back off of this female is where I'd maybe like to change her in a few areas, just lean her up in terms of her composition, see a bit more of that eye appeal, shoulders forward, or a bit more squareness from her hook bones back. She doesn't have that same feature as you study her at the surface as a female that comes directly in front of her. So some good trade-offs back and forth, but to me it's still a pretty straightforward decision. We're going to use this heifer here at the front of the lineup to be your champion. The one that comes here out of Class 2 is going to be reserved. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations in Class 10. First place was exhibited by Kaylee Beeson. Second place went to Sophia Garza. Third place exhibited by Olivia King. And fourth place, Princeton Jordan. We'll now bring your first and seconds in. Select the Champion Reserve Spring Calf.
Well, back over here in your Braford show, we're picking a Supreme Braford female, and we bring back out here our Braford champion and F1s, and I think certainly a pair of females who represent this breed very well. The heifer that comes out of our Braford show, I think one that's just so soft and maternal in terms of her center body, very comfortable off of both ends. I like this one's silhouette as good as any of them. As you study her there on the profile, the way she projects out of the top side of her shoulder with that added look, one that's comfortable again as you study her to the ground. As I study her from a 3/4 shot, I like to open her up just a bit right there in her full rib, and as you step right in behind her as well, a female that's maybe lacking a bit in terms of just foot size and squareness about her toe as you analyze her in comparison to the heifer directly behind her. But a very high quality female, I think certainly one that's got a great deal of future and I think a great deal of success continuing on in her show career. The heifer that comes out of our F1 show, I think female that maybe brings it a step further in terms of her foot size, her attractiveness in terms of her lower skeleton, her boldness about her body, and then her added dimension when you step right in behind her. She's a bit more collected in terms of her top line, has a bit more length and extension there as you study her shoulders forward. As I said there earlier, in a perfect world, maybe you'd soften her up or see just a bit more turn to the base of her rib, but her boldness in terms of her center body is certainly my kind. Again, I like this one in terms of her base build and the way that she's assembled at the surface. She's going to be our overall champion here today. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations, your champion spring heifer calf exhibited by Kaylee Beeson. That's Beeson Bad Barbie. And reserve champion was exhibited by Cal Tassin. We're now going to welcome in your next class. This is class 13.
We start back over here in our open show, and certainly a female that I like an awful lot to get us started off. Comfortable in terms of her lower skeleton, certainly has the right kind of maternal turn to the base of her cage. I like this one's collection in terms of her top line, specifically shoulders back. I think this one certainly proportions very well. As you study your shoulders forward, I'd like to pick her up and see just a bit more length and extension, but certainly a female that does a lot of things right, smooth-shouldered, soft-bodied, certainly has the right kind of flexibility underneath. Excited to get her back out here in a bit. Congratulations. Well, another very high quality female here, and one that I think brings out a lot of the attributes you expect here in a Braford female in terms of just her flexibility, her reach off of both ends, just her easy keeping kind. As you study her there through her center body, the way she's built here from the side profile, just very maternal in terms of her kind. Maybe not the wildest looking shoulders forward. I think maybe you'd like to see her just a bit neater in terms of her bottom line, the way that all comes together, but a useful kind of a heifer here, and I think it all starts at the ground where she's built awfully comfortable and has the right kind of just skeletal correctness. Nice female here. Congratulations to this exhibitor.
We had 4 single entries here in your fall division. Over in the Beefmaster Ring, we're going to bring all 4 of those single entries in. Selected Champion Reserve, Fall Heifer Calves.
Well, back over here in our Braford show, a very impressive class here, and a heifer that starts us off that's already made her mark here in the ring today. A heifer that I like in terms of her neatness, her softness in her center body, her comfort off of both ends. As I've said a couple times, I think one, maybe you'd like to just stouten up in her feature right there at the surface, but the remainder of that female is very high quality. I think one you can certainly get fired up about as you study her on the profile. The heifer that comes in second corrects her in a few areas. She's got some added foot size, some added feature about her bone work, some added dimension right there in her full rib, and one that's just a powerful kind of a female when you get right in behind her in general. I step back off her, and she doesn't have that same collection in terms of her lines and her top line specifically. She's not quite as neat shoulders forward or as soft and just sweeping in terms of her cage as you study her to the base of her rib, but a female, again, I like in terms of her base build. I like in terms of her dimension. I think certainly some generating pieces there in that heifer in second. The one that comes here in third, moderate and easy keeping in terms of her type and kind. Again, very just stout in terms of her general makeup. I'd like to see this one just a bit neater in terms of her extension from the side profile. She wants to shorten up from hooks to pins a bit more. Not near as ladylike from her shoulders forward as those two females that precede her, but a nice female there to close us out in a very good class. Congratulations to those exhibitors.
Well, congratulations. Back over in the Beefmaster ring, champion Vol Heifer Calf exhibited by Callie Ellis with Ellis Magnolia. Reserve champion went to Blue Ribbon Beefmasters. Now in the ring is Class 21. Back over in the Braford ring, results out of Class 9. First place exhibited by Megan Williams with CB Miss Meggie 801. Second place was exhibited by Dancing Diamond Ranch. And third place go to Haley Sheffield. Now in the ring, we'll select the champion reserve Fall Heifer Calf.
Really a good set of them here in this particular division. We started it off with a very nice class winner here at the front of the lineup. I like this one, again, in terms of just her basic build and design, one that's so right in terms of her body shape, the way she's assembled there in terms of her rib, one that has the right kind of build back out through her hip and as she goes to the ground. As I said there earlier, maybe not near as out there looking from her shoulders forward or the way she's assembled there from her chest floor, center body, and back into her flank. I'd like to see her just a shot more refined in terms of her teat and just general udder, but one that I think certainly does a lot of things right from a function standpoint. I think a very useful kind of a female to represent that first class. Then we get into Class 2. And one, as I said there, we've talked about a couple times here today. I think gives you a very good look here from the side profile. And I don't want to make this one out to be the show heifer of the bunch, but she does have some of those pieces here in terms of her neatness of her shoulder, the way she projects from there on forward, one that's has the right kind of look there to the base of her rib and comfortable off of both ends. I think one that as you get right in behind her, and I said there earlier in class, I think still has plenty of just natural thickness and dimension that you don't want to just call her, again, the show heifer of the bunch, because she still has a very useful kind of a look in terms of her body shape and dimension. She's going to be our champion here today. I think a very nice female to represent this division. Then we're going to follow right up with this young man here out of Class 1. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations, champion Fall Heifer over here in the Braford Show, exhibited by Megan Williams. That was CB Miss Meggie 801. And reserve champion was exhibited by Melissa Montemare with SGB Brissa 346. Now in the ring is Class 12 Summer Yearling Heifers born May to July of 2023. And congratulations back in the Beefmaster ring. Results of Class 21. First place exhibited by Maddox McCollum. And second place went to Callie Ellis. Now in the ring, Class 22 before division.
Really a good class here, and the heifer here that starts us off, I think of anything we've seen from the entirety of the show, this one has the most true body shape and dimension, just natural thickness from behind the cattle, and then as you step back off of her, she still proportions awfully neat in terms of her chest floor and how she feeds back into her flank, her projection there through her front end. She's got a little added foot size and just feature at the surface. One that I don't know that she's just the most comfortable or I guess the most attractive in terms of her hind leg assembly, but she still uses it in the right fashion. I think one that certainly still meets her stride. Again, I like this one's body shape, just her broody look that she gives you from every angle. A great place to start in this particular class. A darker red female here that stands in second, and one that I think certainly offsets her. She's a bit later maturing, very high tying, very extended here from the side profile, comfortable in terms of her angles and the way she goes to the surface. I think it's pretty evident here today that she's a bit greener in terms of her type and kind. That's certainly part of it, but she naturally just doesn't have quite as much turn to the base of her rib. She's naturally not quite as opened up in terms of her overall just dimension and thickness when you get right in behind the cattle. Still a very high quality female. It's built right at the surface, got a neat look from her shoulders forward. Good class there. Congratulations to both exhibitors.
Well, congratulations in Class 25 over here in the Beefmaster ring. First place exhibited by Santiago Garza with SAG Show-Off's Legacy. Second place go to Hayden Lee, and third place to Turner Koonsman. Now welcome in Class 26. Back over in the Braford ring, results out of Class 12. First place exhibited by Melissa Montemayor with SGB Shanghai Trans Rapid 322. And second place was exhibited by Megan Williams. Now in the ring is Class 13. These are late spring yearling heifers. Correction on that last class over here in the Beef Masters. The placings were right, just the people were wrong. First place in that class was Callie Ellis with Ellis's JC. Second place was Blue Ribbon Beef Masters, and third place was Avery Pearson. We are now in the ring with our intermediate drive.
Another very impressive class here, and I think all three pretty different in terms of their type and kind. The heifer that I used to win, not much of a question on that one being the place to start. A dark red female goggle-eyed heifer that certainly is built with plenty of true comfort in terms of her lower skeleton, moderate and easy keeping in terms of her type and kind, still awfully dimensional and square in terms of her look when you get right behind the cattle. A heifer that just gives you a striking view here from the side profile and presented to a high degree. One that I think if you could change her in just an area or two and more than anything, just improve her, I think you could strengthen her right in behind her shoulder just a touch and see her a bit longer and square from hooks to pins, but a female that is so maternal in terms of her just view here from the side profile, high tying, neat looking, soft bodied, comfortable and big featured. She puts together a lot of hard to make pieces. I think that one's a great representative of this particular class, and looking forward to getting her back out here. Got one that probably on the scale of Brahman to Hereford is looking a little more Hereford-like here that comes in second. I think a heifer that does a lot of things in an impressive fashion. She's lean and fresh, shoulders forward. She's strong and collected in her top line, comfortable there at the surface, still plenty bold in terms of her body type. She's one that I'd like to stouten her up in terms of her heart and forerib just a touch, see her with a bit more foot size underneath, tidy her up in her chest floor and see her tail head just sit a bit neater in the backside of her hip. Again, some minor tweaks here and there that I think make that a bit of a closer decision. If you could change those things just a touch here in the top pair, regardless, a very nice heifer standing in second. The one that comes here in third, again, long and extended in terms of her type and kind, comes with some added foot size, one that I appreciate for her added natural thickness from behind. For all of her added frame, I wish she had a bit more softness to her center body. She looks like one that might need just a bit more supplementation when put back into your herd, but one that I think certainly has some neat breeding pieces, and I like in terms of just her skeletal build there at the surface. Good class. I think a very nice class winner. Congratulations. Well, single entry here, and one that I think, as we talked about there previously, just so right in terms of her mature cow size, and one that I think will require just no supplementation, kick her out, and that one's always going to stay in good flesh, bold in terms of her body type, plenty of natural thickness when you get right in behind this particular female, one that's so easy keeping. I think it probably works to her disadvantage just a touch in terms of her view from the side profile, pushing a little more chest for, got a little bit more fat starting to gather up there around her pones, and I'd like to stouten her up and see her a bit more comfortable in terms of her hind leg construction, but a female that does a lot of things right from a real world perspective, and a nice one to win this particular class. Congratulations to her.
Well, congratulations over here in the Beefmaster ring, your champion intermediate female exhibited by Callie Ellis. That was Ellis JC. And reserve champion exhibited by Maddox McCollum. We'll now bring in class 25 in the Beefmaster ring.
Single entry here, but one that I think certainly you'd admire a lot of things about. So dimensional when you get right in on top of this particular female. Got plenty of length and extension from the side profile. Still goes comfortably off of both ends. I think from an attractiveness standpoint, maybe you'd like to reconstruct her just a shot there out of her hip and hind leg, a little shorter and rounder in terms of her hip. Wants to get up underneath of herself just a touch, and probably not near as ladylike as a few of these females that you reflect back on that we've seen to this point in the show from her shoulders forward. But again, a heifer that does a lot of things right in terms of reach and flexibility, length of body, added dimension down the top side of her skeleton. A nice one to win this particular class. Congratulations to this exhibitor.
Well, congratulations over here in the Beefmaster ring. Results out of Class 25. First place exhibited by Santiago Garza with SAG Show-Off's Legacy. Second place in that class exhibited by Turner Koonsman. We'll now welcome in Class 26. Back over in the Braford ring, we'll go into your division drive for our yearling females.
Well, we get a few more numbers out in this particular division, and certainly grab a gear in terms of just quality. I think all five, or I guess how many do we got here? 6 of these females certainly have a lot of good things going on. They're different in terms of what they offer here in this particular lineup. We started it all off here with this first class winner that I was pretty fired up about, just in terms of her general body shape, her natural thickness, and still as you step back off her to proportion the way that she does here from the side profile is something that I certainly admire in this female. I said there earlier, I don't know that she's just the epitome of attractiveness in terms of her hind leg, but she still uses it in the right fashion. And again, one that just gives you such a broody and powerful look. Cowie in terms of her makeup. I like that one an awful lot there at the front of the lineup. Then we got into class 2 and kind of grabbed a different gear here in this dark red female that's very comfortable and stout featured there at the surface, a bit more moderate in terms of her kind here in this particular lineup, and one that has the right kind of softness and just turn to the base of her rib, a neat look, and projects with a lot of added just femininity and I guess presence there through her front end as you analyze her in this particular lineup. I said there earlier, maybe you'd like to strengthen her right in behind her shoulder just a touch, and I'd like to see her a bit longer from hooks to pins, but a female that's still very collected in her top line when she takes off and goes. And I think that's when you get the true test of how cattle are built is in motion. I like that one an awful lot. I think she certainly puts together a lot of hard-to-make pieces. Here in Class 3, we had a moderate, easy-keeping one that I'd like to see reconstructed just a touch in terms of her hip and hind leg and lean her up in her composition just a touch, but certainly a female you admire for what she brings to the table from a real-world perspective, moderation, and easy flesh and kind. Then we get into this last class and one that's on the other end of the spectrum, a bit later maturing, a bit longer bodied, still very stout and dimensional when you get right behind the cattle, comfortable in terms of her angles there at the surface. I said there earlier, predominantly from an aesthetic standpoint, I'd like to reconstruct her in her hip and hind leg, and then one that I think could use a bit of softness in terms of her center body for her added frame to make it balance up just a bit more appropriately. But I like her dimension up high. I like her flexibility at the surface. Again, a very good division here from start to finish. To me, it still becomes a pretty straightforward decision. I'm going to use this dark red heifer here out of Class 2 to be your champion. Follow right up with Class 1 for reserve. Congratulations. Pair of single entries here come out for division selection, and I think certainly a pair that have a lot of good to them and certainly bring some different attributes out here to the middle of the ring. A heifer here at the front of the lineup, so rugged in terms of her design, stout featured, one that's very dimensional when you get right in behind the cattle. I like her added length and extension here from the side profile and her added squareness from hooks to pins. A heifer to me, as I step back off her, and as much as I appreciate just that stoutness and rugged look that she gives us, I'd probably like to see her just a shot more feminine in her design. From her shoulders forward, see her a bit softer in terms of her center body makeup, and one that I think without question you'd like to see a bit neater in terms of just her udder construction. She's a bit uneven and a bit coarser about her teats, but certainly one that you like for her feature at the surface. Her stoutness from behind, the way she's assembled there in her top line. The heifer that comes here out of Class 2, very shapely when you get right in on the top side of these cattle, has a true edge working down her top line, round in terms of her body. I think certainly one you appreciate for her flexibility there out of her hip and hind leg. As I said there earlier, and we studied this one in our previous show, one that I'd like to square up in terms of where her feet hit the surface up front. And for me, being a bit harsher in terms of her center body, I'd like to lean her up in terms of her composition right there in her chest floor. So certainly, again, some good trade-offs back and forth. To me, there's one out here that stamps you with just those basics of feature and flexibility, added dimension. We're going to use this heifer here out of Class 1 to be your champion. We're going to follow right up with Class 2 for reserve. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations in our final division of Braford Females Champion, exhibited by NPH Brafords and Reserve, wins Haley Sheffield. We'll now bring in all of your division champion and reserves. We'll select a Grand Reserve Braford female. Back over here in the Beefmaster ring, it is division time for your junior females. We're going to bring those first and seconds in, and our judge will select his Grand and Reserve Grand Champion junior female.
Well, as we come to a close here in our Braford female show, I think it's been an awesome set of cattle from start to finish, and certainly a breed that offers a lot of utility in the real world settings, but certainly it has a lot of good here in the show ring as well. And so my hat's off to each and every one of these exhibitors. I appreciate them coming out here and exhibiting their cattle. Certainly appreciate the opportunity to come out here and sort through their cattle, and it's been a great experience here from start to finish. I would tell them again, big thank you to come here to the Cattlemen's Congress. It feels like a bit of a home field for us when we come exhibit cattle. I feel like I was here long enough here for the last 2 weeks to vote in a local election. We showed about every single day, but I can tell you, with that being said, and without a shadow of a doubt, this is the best show in the country with the best people behind it that are supporting it and running it on a daily basis, putting a lot of time and effort into it, even outside of the time that we're here showing cattle throughout the remainder of the year, to make sure that this is the best place, again, in the world to exhibit your livestock and get the most for the exhibitors. I know it's said often, but it's an exhibitor-friendly show, and I think for that we should all be awfully thankful. Need to say one last big thank you to my wife who supports me in all these shows that I get to go do. Someone's got to stay home and hold down the fort, and so she got to come with me here today. Appreciate that as well. But again, thank you to the Braford Association, to all these exhibitors and breeders. Been a great show. I think maybe we have an F1 show to finish out still, but this Braford female drive here gets a guy fired up, and I think certainly a lot of quality standing out here in front of us. One more time, put your hands together for these exhibitors. I'll get you a champion in reserve.
Well, congratulations. Your grand champion Braford female comes out of Class 13. That was exhibited by Alan Good of Maybank, Texas, with Miss Sendero Agro-Lipal Lauren 60L. And reserve champion and congratulations goes to Melissa Montemare. We do have 3 single entry Braford bulls. We'll bring all 3 of those bulls into the ring. Following that, we will go right into your F1 female show. Back over in the Beefmaster ring, your champion junior female exhibited by Callie Ellis with Ellis Maddie. Reserve champion went to Cal Tassin with KTCC Clarice. We then brought in Class 31. That was a single entry exhibited by Brayley Cowan with Ellis Zoe. We're now going to bring into the ring Class 33.
Well, an exceptional bull drive as we get these three individuals back out here here at the front of the line. A solid red bull that certainly like in terms of his design from the side profile. Easy keeping in terms of his center body dimension, comfortable in terms of his angles. Again, one that's collected about his lines. As you step right behind him or study him from a three-quarter shot, like to open him up in his full rib just a touch and see a bit more base width at his hock as he turns and goes away. But a young bull that I think with time and feed certainly has a correct look from the side profile and comfort at the surface. Got a bull that comes out of the second division that certainly you like for his added shape here out of these first two. One that certainly has some added length and extension from the side profile and levelness in terms of his design down his top. Again, one that's comfortable off of both ends. I'd like to stouten him up in terms of his foot size and the feature of his foot just a touch. I'd like to see him just a shot more attractive about his hock and the way he's assembled there. But in terms of function, he does a lot of things right. I like that one's added shape and expressive view from the top side of the cattle. Then we got this bull that comes out of the last division, an awfully impressive individual in my opinion, one that's stout and square in terms of his toe. He's got the most true base width, but still stays within himself in terms of his track, one that's comfortable in terms of his angles off of both ends, and just so powerful about his body type, his pin width, his natural thickness from behind the cattle, and gives you a good look here from the side profile. He's got some extras for the show ring, but just a stout individual and one that certainly just looks like a good bull about his feature, his skull, his body shape, and his back. I think one that certainly represents this breed awfully well. He's going to be our champion and does so quite handily, in my opinion. I'm going to follow right up with this young lady here out of the second division to be reserved. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations over here in the Braford Ring, your grand champion bull exhibited by Dancing Diamond Ranch. That was DD 1849, Hollywood 210, and reserve champion. We'll go to Megan Williams with CB Mr. Simba 901. We do have a get of sire class, one entry in that class we're looking forward to before we get started with our F1 female show. Well, congratulations, your champion senior female, exhibited by Blue Ribbon Beef Masters with WR Foxy Carmel, and reserve champion exhibited by Colton Cagle with Couch 1022.
Our champion Get a Sire group here, and certainly a set of cattle that were awfully competitive in their classes and divisions. We actually have our champion bull here to the far right, and so a set of cattle, in my opinion, that certainly have the right kind of shape and dimension, some added foot and feature and added extension in terms of their type and kind. A bull that looks like certainly should be used for all those attributes that he's injecting into his offspring. Certainly my congratulations to these exhibitors here on a good set of Get a Sire cattle.
Well, congratulations in our pair class, first place and champion that division, exhibited by exhibited by Sophia Garza with Ellis Vale. We're now going to bring in all of your division champion and reserves, and our judge, Mr. Donnie Robertson, will be selecting his grand and reserve grand champion females. Also over in ring one, we have two F1s to show. We're going to bring them both into the ring. We'll select a grand reserve female.
Again, a quality set of F1 females here, and one here at the front of the lineup. As I talked about previously, so good in terms of her basic build and design, her foot size and shape, her attractiveness in terms of her lower skeleton. I really appreciate this one's added shape and dimension, working on the top side of their skeleton. To have that kind of look and presence from the side profile and still be that wide and dimensional is certainly something that I'm drawn to. A female, as I said there earlier, and I think partially she's just a bit greener in terms of her overall presentation, but one that could use a bit of drop to her center body relative to having a bit more size and frame. But again, so good in terms of her skeletal build. I like this one's look. I really appreciate her added dimension from behind. The effort that comes here in the second spot, that'd be our reserve F1 female, one that I appreciate for just her easy keeping kind, her flexibility at the surface, and still one that has plenty of dimension from behind the cattle. She can be freshened up in terms of her composition just a touch, stouten her up in terms of her foot size, and see a bit more of those extras there from the side profile, but a very useful kind of a female to stay in reserve. Congratulations to both these exhibitors on a great day here in our Braford show.
Well, congratulations. Your champion F1 female, exhibited by Madison Parker, and reserve champion went to Logan Bundrick. Well, again, congratulations to all of our Braford females today at the Cattlemen's Congress, and a special thank you to our judge this afternoon, Mr. Nick Fitzsimmons.
At Frontier Embryo Center, where tradition meets innovation in cattle breeding and fertility services, we're more than just a cattle service. We're your partner in elevating your herd's genetics. Our 60-day pregnant reset program and 6-month wean calf program are designed to maximize your genetic potential. With premium reset cows that are always on hand, health tested and selected for their docile and maternal traits, We handle the hard work so you can focus on growing your operation.